What's the word, people? It's your boy J-Money89 boy here. Been going for a minute for YouTube, but you know what time it is. It's our annual little, if there's one video I'm gonna be consistent with, it's gonna be this one. It's the top games of 2021. 2021 was a pretty, I think it was a better year for gaming than 2020, and 2022 looked like it's about to be stacked. This year will be a little bit different because like I was super busy in 2021. That's why I didn't really upload on YouTube as much outside of just live streams. So I'm gonna try to do better with that, and like you can even see that reflected in the games in this year, because like a lot of the games on this list I haven't beat, except for maybe 5 of them, or I don't know. But regardless, you'll figure it out. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get into it.
I'm fucked up, homie, you fucked up, but if God got us.
Coming in at number 17, we have Demon Slayer: The Hinokami Chronicles. Now, as soon as I saw that this game was made by CyberConnect 2, I knew exactly what it was going to be. It was going to be Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm with a Demon Slayer skin over it. And that's exactly what it is. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's fun, while basic as hell, but I still had a lot of fun with a Demon Slayer game, and it looks beautiful. It looks just like the animes. If one thing CT2 knows how to do, they know how to make a pretty-ass game look exactly like its source material. So for that, I give it props. And the game runs really smooth online. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a sequel of this. I wouldn't mind this popping off and being the way to experience a Demon Slayer story in game form. And yeah. Coming in at number 16, we have Chivalry 2. Now, when I first saw this game, it was a couple of years ago, and I thought it looked just absolutely chaotically fun. A medieval game where you just run around slicing each other's heads off and like participating in big, like epic battles. It was fun. I played this on PS4, and then when I got a PS5, everything was just running even more smooth, and it was just a fun game. This is one of the few multiplayer games that I played where I just get like murdered most of the time in my encounters, and I'm like just a-okay with it. But with this one, I had a lot of fun with it, and it was probably one of my favorite multiplayer games of this year. And honestly, I recommend everyone give this game a shot. You can even do crazy things like drop your sword and pick it up and like throw it at somebody's head and get like an insta kill. It's just mad chaotic and fun. And honestly, if you're this type of person that like gory games and just a fun multiplayer, I say you should give Chivalry a shot. Coming in at number 15, we have Far Cry 6. Now, y'all know me and Brandon, we're huge fans of Far Cry. I didn't really like Far Cry 5 that much, and I barely dived into New Dawn because it just seemed like it was Far Cry 5 and recycled to hell. But so far, even though I didn't beat Far Cry 6, I really enjoyed it. Playing this on PS5, everything just felt smooth. I really enjoyed the features they did with the adaptive triggers. They made some quality of life changes too. You no longer have to hunt stuff to like craft like massive like weapon holsters and stuff that hold more than like 2 guns. You can do that right from the jump, and I love it. The little jetpack that Danny gets that you can use to like just fucking destroy a tank or a helicopter without having to have like a rocket launcher. It's just really cool, and it's probably the most fun I've had with a Far Cry game. Nothing's like really like pissed me off. It just made me feel like, fuck it. And the cool part is you can do it all in co-op. So I like it. Coming in at number 14, we have Riders Republic. Now, this is a game I just started playing recently, and like coming from someone who doesn't even fuck with like sports games like this, like snowboarding or racing, this one is really fun, and I really recommend this one. Like you can just switch how like you can just seamlessly switch between like different vehicles. So you'll be snowboarding, and then next you'll flip into a bike, or if you want to hop into like the rocket suit and just fly around everywhere. It's one of the few like sport games that I think is just very fun to just do tricks on. And I honestly recommend it. Even if you're not a fan of it, you might find something you'll actually like. So yeah, Rider Republic gets number 14. Coming in at number 13, we have Guilty Gear Strive. Now, you guys know me. I love fighting games. I play almost any fighting game that looks cool to me, whether it ended up being good or bad. I mean, come on, I even played fucking Jump Force. But this was made by ArcSys, and you know, ArcSys, they made Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is one of my favorite fighting games. So I decided to, dive into their other work. And I bought Guilty Gear, like Extra Rev, whatever, and it was a lot of fun. So when I saw that Strive was coming, I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot. And I actually really ended up liking this game. It's a dope fighting game. Unfortunately, the clip that I'm using is just the story mode, which you don't play in, so it doesn't really show any like of the actual gameplay. But I highly recommend you look it up for yourself and decide if it's a fighting game that you will want to play, because it's surprisingly pretty basic at first, but it has a lot of depth. It's one of those fighting games where you look at it and you might like, oh, it's kind of bare bones, but there's actually a lot of deep mechanics into it, and like every character feels unique, and like even though the battles can go on a little too quick, it's like, you know, it's a round-based fighter. So yeah, I recommend if you're a fan of any of the previous Guilty Gear games, definitely give this one a shot. If you're a fan of fighting games and you're looking for something new, I also recommend that you give Guilty Gear Strive a shot. Coming in at number 12, we have Neo, The World Ends With You. Now, everybody named Mama always told me, like, how good The World Ends With You is. And I was like, I don't know what the hell you talking about. I don't have a DS. I never played it. But when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, this looks kind of fire. And even though I didn't beat this game because it's long as fuck, I was like, you know, this game is actually pretty kind of cool. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the whole little universe. And, like, me being a Kingdom Hearts fan and having some exposure to The World Ends With You and, like, Dream Drop Distance, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if something like this pops up in the next Kingdom Hearts game. But, honestly, if you're an RPG fan, specifically a JRPG fan, and you don't want a game that's, like, just turn-based, I say give this one a shot. It was really fun from what I played of it so far. I have a good, like, maybe 5 hours into it. I really enjoy the character switching and like how seamless the combat is, and the story is pretty interesting so far. It's some weird, like, it reminds me of like the Spy Kid movie, like if it was good. But yeah, Neo World Ends With You, pick it up. Coming in at number 11, we have Mario World / Bowser's Fury. Now, y'all know me, I play Mario games every now and then. I really like Mario Odyssey, but I really wasn't sure what to expect with this one. Everybody always said Mario 3D World was trash, but that's not what we're talking about, because that's an old-ass game. What we're really here to talk about is Bowser's Fury, because that was surprisingly a fun game. I beat it, and I enjoyed how it was kind of like a... It felt like I was in such a rush of impending doom as Bowser just pull up out of nowhere every time you just explore and trying to collect stars and shit. Then you turn into like a big ass super cat Mario and you just whoop Bowser's ass in this giant kaiju fight. It was like if Mario had a baby with like some weird Godzilla game, and I enjoyed it a lot. Bowser's design was fire, and it was just a colorful little world that you can even play with a friend if you have one. So yeah, definitely pick it up at full price, because Lord knows Nintendo is not going to drop the price at all. Coming in at number 10, we have Persona 5 Strikers. Now, normally I wouldn't put this game on the list because it came out in 2020 in Japan, so it's been out for a year. But it came to the West, and you know what? I live in the West, so it came out in 2021 for us. And y'all know me, Persona 5 Royal was my game of the year for 2020, and when I learned that this was going to be like a Dynasty Warriors, like basically Persona without the turn-based, I was like, what more could I ask for? Normally, you guys know me, I'm not a huge fan of turn-based RPGs. Even with loving Persona 5 Royal, I'm like, I still don't like turn-based RPGs. So if you're going to give me a series that I like that was turn-based and make it not turn-based and just fun with a good story, hell yeah. The only reason why it's not higher and just in the top 10 spot because I didn't beat the game, but I do enjoy how it has mechanics from the original game and still with like more fun gameplay. It reminds me when they said that Persona 5 originally was going to be like a hack and slash and not turn-based at all. And it feels like this game is that vision that they were originally going to make Persona 5 in. And can't just say it, I just love it. So yeah, it's free on PlayStation Plus at the time of the recording of this video. So if you want it, here's a chance to get a game on here without any money at all. Coming in at number 9, we have Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Now, I've had my eye on this game ever since they announced it, and like everything just about it, it looked so like the art style in this game is just fucking beautiful. Like I felt like I was playing a Disney Pixar movie. Like it's just gorgeous, and like even on PS4, the game looks really good. But one thing that stood out to me in this game the most was the difficulty. This game is pretty freaking hard. I was playing this on normal, and I'm like, wow, this game is actually kind of challenging. I thought this ain't what I thought it was gonna be. I was kind of fucking surprised, but I do enjoy the combat. Everything's intuitive. It's a nice little platforming elements, explorations. Once again, it's a game I didn't finish, but I'm pretty sure I could finish this if I really tried. But it just has a lot to it, and I'm like, wow, this game is a lot better than what I thought it was. And this is, I believe, the developer's first game. So, like, for this to be like this gorgeous and this fucking cool in their first attempt, I can't wait to see what more they do. I highly recommend people give this a shot. It's an indie game. It's pretty cheap, so I mean, you won't be wasting any money of it. So yeah, give Kenna a shot. Coming in at number 8, we have Forza Horizon 5. Now, I think this is actually the first time I've actually put a Forza game on this list, but this game, man, this game made me so glad I bought a 4K TV because this is one of the most beautiful games of the generation, and the generation is just starting. On top of that, it's a fun racing game. One of the reasons why I always love Forza is just how fun it is to just drive around and just do crazy shit and look at these beautiful ass cars and all these weather effects. It's just gorgeous, man. And like, I wish I paid money for this, and I probably will buy the game for myself down the road because I played it through Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, I mean, by all means, go ahead. I mean, it's Xbox. You know, it's pretty good, and I think it's on Game Pass for PC too. So if you have a PC, you can still play it, and it's just a gorgeous ass racing game. If you enjoy racing games, specifically like arcade sims, just give this a shot and play it. You'll be surprised at just like how fun and beautiful it is. The intro to the game already lets you know that you're in for a fun time with the racing game. It's beautiful, and definitely do yourself a service and buy a 4K TV so you can experience this beautiful game in all its beautiful glory. Coming in at number 7, we have Deathloop, everybody's favorite game that I swear at every major event they had like 20 trailers for it and people were tired of seeing it. But this is also one of those games that I feel like a lot of people just stopped talking about after it came out. It was getting a lot of good reviews, and even people I followed on Twitter was giving it great reviews. And then, like, towards the end of the year, they was like, you know what, Deathloop was actually kind of shit. And I was like, well, why the fuck would you give it a positive review? I mean, I know people's opinion can change, but like, damn, it's kind of like telling somebody this is the best food in the world that I prepared it with love, and then after you get it, it's like, bro, this shit, it kind of wasn't all that. But I enjoyed this game. I love the entire concept of it being like a semi-roguelike. Like, you go through the levels trying to find clues of how to take down all the targets in like one loop, or how to even like, you know, like if this target is going to be here with another target, can I take out multiple targets at once? Like maybe one day, like, or one specific section of the day, like, oh, this guy is going to be here. And like, it just really added on to that verticality that I liked from Dishonored, which helps and makes a lot of sense because the developers of this game is also the same as Dishonored. So I always felt like they were masters at level design, and I absolutely enjoyed it for it being an first-person PlayStation exclusive, at least until it comes to Xbox next year. And yeah, I enjoyed Deathloop. Give it a shot. Coming in at number 6, we have Scarlet Nexus. Now, I will admit, when I first saw this game, I didn't really have any high hopes for it. I was like, okay, Bandai Namco, what are y'all doing? This game looks kind of ashy. Like, 1 minute, like, my opinion changed on this game every time I saw something about it. 1 minute, I thought it looked fire. The next, I thought it looked terrible. But when the actual game came out, I decided to go out on the whim and give it a shot. And it was actually a very fun and original anime game. Once again, it's another game I didn't beat, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the road to beating it. I finished the first character story, and I'm on to the woman story, and I really like it. The combat is nice, and like, it felt rhythmic, whatever the hell. It just felt like very like awesome, and like it flowed together very well. And I think if you're a fan of like anime and you want to like dive into a new world, I say you should give Scarlet Nexus a chance. It's on Game Pass, so if you're on Xbox, you don't have to pay extra for it. Just say, yeah, I've got to reach your Game Pass, but at the same time, Scarlet Nexus is a fire game. Coming in at number 5, we have Resident Evil Village, or Resident Evil 8 for people who tired of fucking Capcom trying to be fancy with their titles. Man, y'all know how I feel about Resident Evil. I don't think their games are that scary because, like, by the end of the game, you got every gun that was ever created, and then something run up on you, you just blow its fucking head off. I say it once again, I still think, like, Outlast is scarier than Resident Evil games because I can't necessarily be scared of something I can fight back against. What makes a horror game more, like, scary for me is the fact that you can't fight back against what's trying to kill you, so you're either forced to run away or hide from it, and that's just creepy. Resident Evil, though, you can just blow its fucking head off. But that doesn't make it bad at all. As a matter of fact, this is probably my favorite Resident Evil game next to the Resident Evil 2 remake. The story was really well, and it's one of the few games that I've actually beat this year. When it had its creepy moments, specifically, there's the moment that everybody's talking about that's really creepy, and that moment's creepy because you literally can't fight back against the thing that's trying to kill you. But regardless, it was so like well done, and the puzzles weren't really frustrating or annoying. I was able to get through everything without really having to go on YouTube to look up anything. I really enjoyed the ending to this game, even though I wish Capcom would stop doing this trend to like great fathers. Like, damn, can they just, you know what I mean? But honestly, sipping for the giant vampire lady aside, I think Resident Evil Village is well worth your money, and you should give it a shot. Coming in at number 4, we have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I feel like everybody and their mama should give Eidos Montreal and Square Enix an apology for this game, because people shat on this game hard. And I mean, it was kind of justified. The initial showing of this game at E3 didn't really impress me. It had a shitty frame rate and it was just Star-Lord blasting shit. But the actual full game is probably one of my favorite Marvel games next to Spider-Man. And I don't even like Guardians of the Galaxy, but this one made me a Guardians fan. And like, the story was really dope. It was one of the few times like a Marvel game felt like it wasn't just trying to like catch up, like just portray the MCU. And like, yeah, there are MCU outfits in the game, but that's about it. Like, a lot of story beats are not like the MCU versions at all. It's more like toward like its own original story, its own universe. And also like you can like make your own choices, and like that will determine how the story plays out, kind of like a Telltale game. And even though you only play with Star-Lord, which is something I don't like, you can still control your teammates and like tell them what moves to do and stuff in combat. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if in a sequel they do make you able to play with the other Guardians. Honestly, I want a sequel. I feel like this game would be slept on a lot because of the negative taste in people's mouth that Avengers left, but I think you should ignore that and definitely give Guardians of the Galaxy a shot, because it's damn well worth it. Coming in at number 3, we have Splitgate. Now, y'all know I'm a huge arena shooter fan and I'm a huge Halo fan, and you don't know this, but I also really enjoy the game Portal. So what happens when you take all those 3 things I just said and put them into a blender? You get Splitgate, and it's a damn fun first-person shooter. And the best part of it all, it's free to play. You don't have to pay any money at all. I hopped on this game just bodying people, and I was like, oh my god, this game is amazing. Like, hopping through a portal, mixing up your enemies, falling through a portal, and then coming out on the other side of the map, or like peeking through a portal and confusing the enemies. It's just so dope, and it's like, it's just a really fun, well put together game. And like, I appreciate this game because this game held me out until another one of my favorite shooters came out this year, and it was just I'm so glad. Splitgate, give it a shot, because it's on damn near everything but the Switch and phone. So like, if you have a console, just play it and like enjoy it, because it's freaking amazing. Coming in at number 2, we have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Literally the only game that kind of saved PlayStation's dry ass 2021, honestly, because I didn't like Returnal like that, and like Deathloop is cool, but eventually that shit's gonna come to Xbox, so Sony can only enjoy that for a certain amount of time. But man, for this being my first Ratchet and Clank game that I ever played, wow, this shit was insanely fun. This was really good. Insomniac put their fucking foot into this one. I don't like really see all the hype around like the SSDs switching the world shit, because it honestly didn't impress me. Maybe they didn't talk about it so much, and every fucking time they show this game off, I probably would have been more surprised by it. But before then, I was just like, okay, you switched through levels really fast. What else? But this was a fun little platformer, third-person shooter. It ran buttery smooth, ray tracing 60 frames per second. It looked beautiful on my 4K TV. Matter of fact, this is one of the first games I played when I got my 4K TV, and it just looked jaw-droppingly amazing. I can't wait to see what Insomniac does with their future games with Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. But if they do anything and like design it anyway like they did this, we're in for a treat. Coming in at number 1, you guys know exactly what it is. Halo Infinite. Man, when I tell you I was waiting for this game so long, and it turned out to be everything I wanted to be, despite a few little hiccups that I could have done without it. But you know, it's whatever. Honestly, I couldn't ask 343 to have done a better job than what they've done with this campaign. The multiplayer, gameplay design, all of it just fire. They gave us an open world Halo game. I'm just eating good. I always wanted an open world like Dragon Ball game, an open world Halo game, and now we're getting an open world Sonic game sometime soon, and I'm just like, yes, I love it. The gunplay was just fire. The multiplayer is probably the best the series has ever had. It is just like, everything about this game was just fire. Now I know this game didn't launch with everything complete like people would have wanted to, and I know that's a bummer, but I mean, 343 is going to work on it. You know, it's a live service game, and unfortunately nobody asked for that, but I mean, we can't complain. I mean, we can complain because, I mean, a lot of people are doing it, but I feel like there's a way we can do it respectfully and voice our concerns without, like, harassingly attacking the devs. It's a pandemic. A lot of people aren't used to working in these conditions, but regardless of the conditions that this game was made in, I still feel like they delivered a fun game. And the best part about it, the multiplayer is free, and even the campaign is free if you have Game Pass, so you don't have to pay for it to play this at all. And Honestly, I feel like you should, because I sure did buy the game even though it was on Game Pass just to support the series. But man, Halo Infinite, I think, was well deserved of my game of the year. I was just in awe throughout the entire game, just enjoying it, and it just made me realize why I love the series so much, because it's just so fun and it has so much replayability. All the crazy shit you can do in the game is something that you can rarely do in any other first-person shooter, to me at least, and it just got that gameplay pool that just keeps making me come back for more. So honestly, I ain't got nothing else to say. Halo Infinite was my game of the year. I feel like it's well deserved. Comment below what's your favorite game of the year. I'm out.
Right. And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the bank cut.